Hello, welcome back to another installationes of What Would Lou Do. Today we are having a look at the Glock 19. Now I have attempted to do this video a few times now. Once, the first time, thought I had it in the bag and it got deleted. And the second time, as I was editing the footage, I was like, this wasn't very good. I didn't put my heart into it, So now we're doing it for the last and final time. If you guys don't like it, then my efforts have failed. So this is the first official pistola that I owned. Brief backstory. When I was researching, what was the most reliable, affordable, overall, the best bang for the buck. No pun intended. Everyone and the mammy said Glock 19, Glock 19. While it is a very reputable brand and a very ideal option for most people and for most situations, for what I wanted it for, it wasn't necessarily the best option. And I will get into all that, but that's how I came to own the 19. So I figure I would just show you guys what it would come with if you were to get it new, give you my overall thoughts on it and whether or not this is the right option for you. This is the Gen 4 version. The Gen 5, I've heard they've started giving you less in the box, so that's unfortunate. But you'll see that this one's pretty packed with all kinds of goodies. You do get a hard case, hard plastic case. This is good. Some of you guys need to take a note, Smith & Wesson. They don't throw it in a cardboard box, a baggie, none of that cheap stuff. It's in a nice hard case. Now, a lot of people sell these cases because they're like, I don't need these. But I mean, in all honesty, if you were going to carry this somewhere and you didn't have holsters or baggies or things like that, this would fare you a lot better than carrying it in a cardboard box. I'm just gonna open her up here. Alrighty, that is, to the best of my recollection, this is what I recall being in the box. This is how I got it and everything. These mags might have been a little bit differently rearranged. Maybe they had them side by side. I don't know. But if you've been watching me any period of time, you know how I'm kind of OCD about things. What comes in the box? What's in the box? I know someone's gonna think about that meme. So obviously you get the pistola. It comes with 3 mags, 1, 2, 3. It does not come with ammo, so don't get your hopes up. It comes with a couple different grip mods, as you can see right here, to extend your grip. And I think the grip on it is plenty wide. This also has a little pin here because you will need a thicker pin for when you do those. And this also doubles as a pin removal tool. Now it is plastics, but since that's plastic, it's pretty easy to tap out of there, I guess. So it comes with that. It comes with the cleaning rods, your ramrod and your little bristles right here to get inside of the barrel. And of course, the typical orange lock and your manual and memorabilia and all that good stuff. That is everything that you get. So let's start with a bit of technical data and then we will take a close look at everything. Without the mag, it's 20.6 ounces. With the mag, 23 ounces. With a loaded mag, these are 115 hollow point, 30 ounces. All right, if you were to go with ball ammo, right, these would probably be even heavier. So yeah, that's, make sure we don't stick the wrong mag back in there. All right, so that's the weight. I'm gonna do some measurements for you guys. Slide length, 6 3/4. Barrel length, 4 inches exactly. Width is 1 inch. The overall width, which is the grip, is 1 inch and 1/8. Okay, and then the width is about 4 3/4. You can see that right there. This does not show up very well on camera, but you have to take my word for it. All right, so here is the old Pistola. Have a look at it. 19, see there, Gen 4. The little Glock logo, Austria. It's a good little size, and if you guys just heard my AC come on in the background, I do apologize. It is hot outside, so can't be helped. Pretty nice finish. It is one of those finishes that can get kind of hazy, depending on what you clean it with. Like if you clean it with alcohol and you don't wipe it right off, it will be like white looking. I hate when that happens. Now they have a lot darker finishes that matches the polymer a lot better. If you look at like my wife's 43X MOS version, the slide on that thing is way darker than even the polymer is. But this one has more of that grayish look. Now depending on the light, you know, it looks dark, but you see right there, that's definitely black. And then this has more of a, I guess, the gunmetal gray. 15 round capacity, I forgot to tell you guys that. So there you go, 15. If you put one in the chamber, that's of course 16. This striker fired. Slide release works very well. Slide lock, slide catch. A lot of people argue about what this is called, but it really depends on the manufacturer. Some of them refer to it as a slide lock, slide release, slide catch. To me, there's no use in arguing about this. It serves two functions. It will lock the slide and release the slide. If you read in their manual, they say it's perfectly fine to send the slide home using this. So that's exactly what I do. So for anyone who's going to come in the comments saying, oh, you're using it incorrectly, we'll take it up with the manufacturer. Now that we've got that little tidbit out of the way. Pretty good grip as far as the beefiness of it. It really, you know, it's not a tiny grip by any means. Grip texture, on the other hand, is basically non-existent. It's that traditional Glock texture or lack thereof, which I really hate. Now, it's not nearly as bad as the 43X. The 43X is just, I don't know, the little ridges they have are just so low. It doesn't look like it would be much of a difference, but it really is. It's just so much lower. Yeah, grip texture, I definitely do not like, especially when you're starting to get a little sweaty. This thing starts moving around, and you really need a good grip texture to hold on to that thing while you're firing it, you know? Another downside is the sights. These are what I refer to as the field goal sights. Right, you land the football right there, you gotta go. The Glock stock sights often are gonna be these, and they are terrible. It does come with an accessory rail. What I use on this actually is the Valkyrie Mini 2. Unfortunately, this only fits on this. I can't get it to fit on my Micro 9s or anything, which is so unfortunate because I really like this light. And I don't use this all that often anymore. It's basically been relegated to a home defense item. As far as carry, it just doesn't work for me. And I'll get into that once I cover all the rest of the specs here. So what about the trigger? Good old Glock has that typical trigger, right, that everyone hates. Like that short I did, the trigger that everyone hates, and so will you. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it is one of the things that people complain about. People upgrade these triggers all the time. And really, I kind of tend to agree with other people. Like, you shouldn't really do that, because the manufacturer, right, they're the ones that have practiced with these. They know what works and what doesn't. So if that particular Pistola has a bad trigger and the company doesn't offer a specific upgrade for that model, then it's just got a bad trigger, man. I mean, yeah, you can have some good luck with it, but to me, I don't mess with the internals. All mine, if you see, it's basically external upgrades that I do. I do not mess with the inside because I just don't want it to go click when it's supposed to go bang. For verification, I've already cleared this. There's nothing in there. You stick your little finger in there. I do a double check like the thugs like to do. There's nothing in there. Right, here we are at the wall. Right, very distinct wall right there. And so All right, reset to the wall. Reset. So yeah, definitely not the best trigger by any means. I usually tend to like a pretty clean break, you know, got the wall and then bang. I don't like this rolling, gritty kind of feeling. So definitely not as good of a trigger as even the 43X has, but you know, that's what you get when you get Glocks. Love them or hate them, they're reliable and blah, 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 but even they have their bad days. So for you guys saying, oh, they just run, man, they just run. They're just reliable, they just run. I've seen plenty of horror stories with these things exploding and all kinds of stuff. Here's a look at the other side, by the way. These are where your serial numbers will be. I always cover those for the videos because no one needs to see that, especially not the man. And then for any of you guys doing these with your own personal pistolas, I would recommend you do the same. It just seems to make sense to me. If it seems crazy to you, then okay, well then I'm crazy. One thing I'll mention, which I've not heard anyone else mention about Glocks and their design overall, and I feel is the fatal flaw to them being more easily concealed, is right here. Now if you take this out and have a look at it, right? Ideally, if they had the mag to go in here like a lot of other manufacturers do, this right here would be the end of the printing. But instead, they come up with this stupid design to where it hangs out the bottom like this. And this is literally 1/2 inch of material. And I'll show you. Look at that. Almost 3/4. So an extra 3/4 of an inch that's going to print in your shirt. What they should have done here is like I said, other manufacturers do, where they come down, they cut up, and then go that way. And then the magazine itself could have been the extra little pinky extension here. You know, like I'm saying, like Glock is so behind the times, man. They really need to catch up. And I'll show you a couple examples. So here's a piece 365, and you see what I'm talking about, right? They have this insert here, but if it was like Glock, it would go here and then come on down and then go like that. Okay, so there's one example. And here's the Shield Plus. Now this is an aftermarket add-on, but again, the flush mag, it goes here and then cuts there. You see how it has this jump up here? This is really what they need to start doing to their magazine, because then that will take this away and it will be so much more concealable. The 43X has the same problem. These grips are actually the same size, which is like ridiculous, right? Because this one can fit 15, whereas this one's only 10. Now it's much slimmer. However, when you have this up under your shirt, it's not going to stop here at this nice rounded point. It's going to stop right here. Yeah, this right here is something they definitely need to fix on their next lineup. Me personally, I'm not looking for any of their products just because I'm, you know, in my opinion, if you've had one Glock, you've had them all. It doesn't change much from one to the other to the other. So like you have this 19, you pretty much have a 43X and a 48 and a 17, and you know, it just goes on and on. So remember earlier I was telling you, like I got this and I was like, this is not for me, for what I originally intended it. And that is EDC. I wanted to carry this daily, but it was much too large and much too long, actually. Let's do a little comparison for you. You can see I got it back to back. And that is another inch of material right there, pushing down into your pelvis and your man business and all that good stuff, right? And then you put a holster with that, and that might be a little bit more material. So you've got maybe 1.25 inches more material digging down into your pelvis. And while you're walking around, it's fine and dandy, but when you sit, stoop, bend, any of that, it's like, yow. It's not comfortable at all. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's not meant to be comfortable. Actually, that's not true. My Shield Plus here is actually very comfortable. So for all those people who say it's not meant to be comfortable, you're deceiving yourself, man. Also, concealing it. You know, that was something I found really hard to do without wearing a super baggy shirt, flannel, or a coat or a hoodie or something, right? So if it's like wintertime or fall and it's nice and cool out, this is probably very easy to conceal. But like in the summer when you just want to wear a t-shirt, especially if you don't wear like one of those big baggy ones, you know, and you wear some that are, you know, a little more, not quite form-fitting, but almost. This right here is a no-go. For concealability, that's really, in my opinion, where it falls apart. So that's unfortunate, you know, because as far as, reliability, I've not had any malfunctions or anything with it, but just innovative? No, man, they are way behind the times. They're designing things like it's in the 80s and 70s, you know, however long they've been making these, they don't innovate. They're stuck in this narrow little box. And why? Because people don't force them to, right? They just keep buying this stuff over and over and over. And if eventually people would lose interest, then they would have to be like, okay, guys, we got to go back to the drawing board. We've got to do something to give people something to be excited about again, right? Because if I look at this is my least favorite pistola I own, right? And then the second would be the 43X because they're just plain. But even this one, once, you know, you've got some bells and whistles and a light and stuff like that on it, and you know, you put in a little paint, and you know, these have better sights and all, because these are actually glow sights. They're not the best, but it's just more features and it gets me more excited. But even this one, compared to, you know, like my Smith & Wesson or my P365, they're just very blah. So that's why I say this may or may not be the best option for you, depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for just home defense, or if you live in one of those climates, or you like to wear thicker clothes or baggy clothes anyway, maybe just, you know, go with one of these. So overall, my thoughts on it, it's adequate. You can aim at something, pull the trigger, and it fire. In my opinion, there are much better options out there that are just as reliable. Take that for what it's worth. That's just my opinion. I'm just some guy, a hole in a wall, South Kakalaka. I'm just presenting you guys with the stats, with my opinions, with my thoughts on the matter, and you make up your mind from here on out. Would I recommend it? Again, it depends on what you're using it for. Concealed carry? Absolutely not. Home defense? Sure. Absolutely. The one edge it has is the capacity, but otherwise it gets a lot of thumbs downs for me because it just doesn't have a whole lot going for it. So that's my thoughts on this. If you found this video helpful, we ask that you strike that like, smell that bell, subscribe and vibe with us, make us feel all appreciated and whatnot. And we appreciate you guys for watching. As we always say, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, and call upon him while he is near, because he is near unto those that be of a broken heart, and save such that be of a contrite spirit. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. He resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. Cast yourself down before the Lord, and he will exalt you. Until next time, take care, and God bless.